Historicist interpretations of the Book of Revelation. Historicism is a method of interpretation in Christian eschatology which associates biblical prophecies with actual historical events and identifies symbolic beings with historical persons or society. It has been applied to the Book of Revelation by many writers. The historicist view follows a straight line of continuous fulfillment of prophecy which starts in Daniel's time and goes through John of Patmos' writing of the book of Revelation all the way to the second coming of Jesus Christ. One of the most influential aspects of the early Protestant historicist paradigm was the assertion that scriptural identifiers of the Antichrist were matched only by the institution of the papacy. Particular significance and concern were the papal claims of authority over the Church through apostolic succession and the state through the divine right of kings. When the papacy aspires to exercise authority beyond its religious realm into civil affairs on account of the papal claim to be the vicar of Christ, then the institution was fulfilling the more perilous biblical indicators of the Antichrist. Martin Luther wrote this view into the Smalcald Articles of 1537. This view was not novel and had been leveled at various popes throughout the centuries, even by Roman Catholic saints. It was then widely popularized in the 16th century via sermons, drama, books, and broadside publication. The alternate methods of prophetic interpretation, futurism and preterism, were derived from Jesuit writings, whose counter-Reformation efforts were aimed at opposing this interpretation that the Antichrist was the papacy or the power of the Roman Catholic Church. Origins in Judaism and early church. The interpreters using the historicist approach for the Book of Revelation had their origins in the Jewish apocalyptic writings, such as those in the Book of Daniel, which predicted the future time between their writing and the end of the world. Throughout most of history since the predictions of the Book of Daniel, historicism has been widely used. This approach can be found in the works of Josephus, who interpreted the fourth kingdom of Daniel II as the Roman Empire with a future power as the stone not cut by human hands that would overthrow the Romans. It is also found in the early church in the works of Irenaeus and Tertullian, who interpreted the fourth kingdom of Daniel as the Roman Empire and believed that in the future it was going to be broken up into smaller kingdoms as the iron mixed with clay, and in the writings of Clement of Alexandria and Jerome 11, as well as other well-known church historians and scholars of the early church. But it has been associated particularly with Protestantism and the Reformation. It was the standard interpretation of the Lollard movement, which was regarded as the precursor to the Protestant Reformation, and it was known as the Protestant interpretation until modern times. Antichrist. Church Fathers. The Church Fathers who interpreted the biblical prophecy historically were Justin Martyr, who wrote about the Antichrist, he whom Daniel foretells would have dominion for a time and times and half, is even now at the door. Irenaeus, who wrote in against heresies about the coming of the Antichrist. This Antichrist shall ... devastate all things ... But then the Lord will come from heaven on the clouds ... For the righteous. Tertullian, looking to the Antichrist, wrote, "He is to sit in the temple of God and boast himself as being God. In our view, he is, Antichrist is taught us in both the ancient and the new prophecies, and especially by the Apostle John, who says that already many false prophets are gone out into the world as the forerunners of Antichrist." Hippolytus of Rome, in his treatise on Christ and Antichrist, wrote, as Daniel also says in the words I considered, the beast, and look, there were 10 horns behind it, among which shall arise another horn, and offshoot, and shall pluck up by the roots the 3 that were before it, and under this was signified none other than Antichrist. Athanasius of Alexandria clearly held to the historical view in his many writings, writing in the deposition of Arius. I addressed the letter to Arius and his fellows, exhorting them to renounce his impiety. There have gone forth in this diocese at this time certain lawless men, enemies of Christ, teaching an apostasy which one may justly suspect and designate as a forerunner of Antichrist. Jerome wrote, says the Apostle Paul in the 2nd Epistle to the Thessalonians, unless the Roman Empire should first be desolated and Antichrist proceed, Christ will not come. Jerome claimed that the time of the breakup of Rome, as predicted in Daniel 2, had begun even in his time. He also identifies the little horn of Daniel 7 to 8 and 7:24 to 25, which shall speak words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and shall think to change the times, and the law is the papacy.